Hello again, I am Blunty, and this right here is the Avermedia EzRecorder 130, or ER130 for short, I suppose, and it is the latest HDMI capture, game capture device recording thingamabob. Now, regular viewers will know that I use and recommend this little beastie here, the Live Gamer Portable, and most recently I reviewed this, which is the Live Gamer Portable Lite. This fella does what this guy does, but does it in an even more interesting way. It has the PC-free recording mode and everything, and it has the lag-free HDMI pass-through and all that kind of stuff. Let's have a look on the back of the box here. We'll wait for the camera to focus on us. Where's the English? There it is. Capture HD video up to 1080p. Works without a PC. Instant and timer recording. You can pause your recordings. Instant playback and snapshot. That's cool and interesting. H.264 hardware compression. So it does the compression on board the device itself. So you always get a nice clean compression. Real-time pass-through. So you can feed your gaming device into this and out again into your TV. You don't need a splitter or anything like that. Built-in video trimmer. Now that's where stuff gets interesting as well. You can actually edit your videos on the device itself. I'm not sure yet how sophisticated that editing is. It just says trimmer, so it's probably pretty basic. I've literally just unpacked this thing from the mail. They've sent it in to me to check out. So this is my live unboxing here. So let's pop it open and see what we're dealing with here. Now, I've taken the liberty of already slicing through the piece of tape there so I don't get caught out like I do on just about every other unboxing I do, where I forget to bring my knife to slice it open. So, first thing of interest, you'll notice it comes with a remote control. So if you are doing your PC-free recording, you don't have to get up and go over to the device or have the long cords and device handy so you can tap that button. You can actually do it from a remote, which is really, really handy. And that alone may push this device into it becoming my go-to device for when I'm recording gameplay for my reviews and such, because well, I love this thing to death. It is a little bit awkward to use. I have to set up my PC or set up long cords and stuff so I can make sure I can get to the button on this. But if I can just set up a remote, I can hide the device in my configuration, just sit it in my TV cabinet, all hooked up, ready to go, and when I want to record, I just whip out the remote and go boop and record. So that's pretty cool. So you've got a bunch of options on here. Let's have a closer look, shall we? So we've got menu, info, we can recall, go back, record, and snapshot button, that little camera icon, so you can take your stills as well as video, play and pause. And down here you've got instant access to your quality setting, your disk info, so you can see how much disk space you've got left on the disk you've got connected up to it, delete, and a couple of F buttons for multi-use, I suppose. So, cool. What have we here? Standard little USB on one end and a DC input on the other. It's the supplied power supply. Have they supplied me with the correct power plug thingy? Yes, they have. Hooray! And of course, you will get the appropriate plug to your region when you buy one of these from an appropriate reseller. If you are an Australian, by the way, there will be a link in the video description to the local distributors of these guys, so you can get one of your own if you want to. If you live somewhere else, then a bit of Googling is going to help you out, obviously. And a couple of batteries for the remote. Excellent, sweet. And the device itself, very nice and lightweight. It's got the classic Avermedia sort of understated design. It's very clean, very elegant, very simple. So, USB port on the front. That's where you can connect a USB hard drive, or a thumb drive should work in theory, because actually, I'll have to test that. We'll test it out in a minute, but I'll test a thumb drive as well, because they're nice and cheap and easy to get, but stated to work with USB hard drives. That would be the window for the remote control. Simple little record button on top if you don't want to use your remote control. Around the back, what are we dealing with? DC input, that's USB. HDMI, in and out, that's your pass-through, of course. So, very, very simple, easy, very beautiful device, and understated, and, you know, won't look out of place if you do hook it up permanently in your TV cabinet or whatnot, so you're ready to go at a moment's notice when you want to start recording your gameplay. So I'm going to hook this up, and when I come back, we'll have a look at the quality of the recording. Actually, before we get to some recorded gameplay sample footage, sorry to make you wait, but this is a PC-free device, so we'd better take a quick look at the on-screen user interface first. It's kind of important. As you can see, it'll pop over a window over whatever HDMI signal you're feeding into the device, in this case my PS4, and just as a reminder on that fact, for those who've missed it, yes, thanks to a recent firmware update, the HDCP copy protection on the PS4's HDMI output can now be disabled to enable external game capture devices to work perfectly with it. Hooray! So, the menu system is simple and clean and sensibly laid out. Nothing is buried too deep. and it's nice and easy to get at what you need to get at. I will say it does feel just a bit sluggish moving around the menus, but it's nothing too bad. There are two display modes. The default, which is real-time mode, is where you want to be for recording gameplay because it kills off any on-screen displays from the device while you're recording in order to provide a lag-free pass-through, and that's kind of important when you're trying to play a game. If you're using the device with some sort of set-top box, however, you may prefer the standard mode, which will have some on-screen elements like a record icon and such on by default. You can even set the device to pass through your video signals even when the capture device is powered down, so that's handy. You can format drives on the device itself, which is usually a pretty good idea just to make sure the file system on those drives is exactly what the device expects. You can also check out your capacity and remaining disk space. You've got 3 different video quality settings at your disposal, depending on if you're after the crispiest quality or longest record time, or somewhere in between. Handily, it'll even let you know exactly how much record time you can expect from each setting based on how much free space is left on the drive you've got connected. Handy, handy. In this case, the 8GB of free space I've got here will give me 50 minutes at max quality, which is 20 megabits per second, and if you're not familiar with what those numbers mean, that's quite a common bitrate for many 1080p video cameras out there. Again, we'll take a look at actual footage in a minute, but that should mean we'll get some crisp, clean video files. And when it comes to dealing with copy protection HDMI signals, you've got 2 options. The most useful one is the default, where it will simply display and pass through HDCP protected signals, so you won't have to fiddle with your cabling or disconnect the device to get stuff to work. It just doesn't allow you to record that signal, popping a window up reminding you that the content is protected. You can also set up timed recordings, maybe not so useful for us gamers, but handy if you've got it connected up to a set-top box or something. But that's enough of that. You get the idea, I am sure. Now, let's show you some gameplay. All you're about to see is right off the device. I haven't done any extra fiddling with the files at all. And yes, as I'd hoped earlier, alongside a normal USB hard drive, it will work just fine with a USB thumbstick. Though you will want to get a good one from a reputable brand to make sure it can keep up with the data transfer rate and won't drop out on you unexpectedly, as some cheap ones probably will. Pro tip. And sure enough, the video files are wonderfully uneventful. They're clean, full of detail, smooth and steady frame rate. It spits out easy to use 1080p 30 frames per second H.264 encoded MP4 files, ready to throw right into your favourite editor of choice or upload right as they are to YouTube or your video sharing platform of choice. I had 0 issues and completely consistent results right across the board. PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U, no worries at all. And that onboard clip trimming and editing function, well, to be honest, it is a bit clumsy, of course, seeing as you're using a remote control to make the cuts, but it is easy enough to use and it does work really nicely, generating a new file with just the section of gameplay you want to save, ready for easy sharing. So, if you're looking for an easy and reliable PC-free gameplay capture device thingamabobby, my first impressions of the Avermedia EzRecorder 130 are pretty positive. It makes life pretty fuss-free, and that makes Blunty a happy little nerd. Thanks for watching, I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.